The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Thank you all for your patience today. Had a little technical difficulty, and I appreciate you all holding on for us. We're going to go ahead and get started today. Dave, were you all right? Are you on with us? And it looks like, well, we will get that fixed here shortly. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with a couple of things here really quick. And a couple of things I want to mention on the outgo. There will be a couple of polls that pop up. If we can hit yes or no on those as quickly as possible. Dave is going to do a great job with going through Social Security claiming and how we can grow that business and get things working for everyone. So you're going to enjoy that, and we're going to get to that pretty quick because we got started late today. We're going to skip over just a few things. So a couple of things I did want to mention and make sure you're all aware of. We do have a couple things, the RPM program that you want to be aware of. So when you refer someone to us, we pay you ongoing for as long as they do business with us. Keep that in mind. We send out big checks. We're just sending out checks right now on that, and really literally thousands of dollars of checks go out to folks that have referred us people. That's the core of our business, and that's how we've grown our business over the years. And then marketing reimbursement, when you put business with us, your money goes in your marketing reimbursement account, and you can use that to grow your business. We really enjoy the opportunity to assist as you grow your business. So many of you aboard with us today. Many of you aboard with us today are on the new producer program as we speak. We've got a number of you that are still in your first 6 months with us, and so you're still eligible for the new producer program. Any business that you do with AIIMS, whether it's life insurance, long-term care, annuities, single premium life, counts towards those levels, the $100,000, $300,000, or $500,000 level. A lot of great benefits that you can get there. So I want you to take advantage of the new producer bonus. If you have questions on the new producer bonus, call your sales director, but there's a lot of great things you can do. I do want to call your attention to the $300,000 level, which equates to $300,000 of annuity premium. We will take care of your Social Security program and a 3,000 piece mailing. At the $500,000 level, you get the coaching with Dave, a larger mailing. Actually, I think that is for Social Security. I think we do a 6,000 or 5,000 piece mailing that goes with that. So we'll completely get you in the seminar business via that new producer bonus if you haven't yet taken advantage of that. I'm going to skip over back office support. I think most of you know we're very, very good at that. We've got some great things happening. Creative solutions team, whether you're talking about branding or Facebook or your website, using email to grow your business. There's a lot of different ways that we can help you grow your business. We do that at cost or for free. So if by all means, if that's something that you want to take advantage of, before you call up a firm to help you do it with that, call our team and see what they can do, see what they've done for other folks. And I think you'll be pleased with how much of that they can take care of for you pretty much on their time. So, website, we've just updated that. If you haven't looked at it lately, I want you to go to support, look at the AIIMS Library. There's some great stuff on the AIIMS Library that you need to take advantage of. Whether you need term quotes or want to look at the AIIMS annuity selection grid and kind of do a search for just the right fit for your client, there's a great way to do that on the annuity quote engine. We've got our product grid out there as well in a spreadsheet form, which many of you I think probably received from me today. So a lot of great stuff out there. I hope you'll take advantage of that. Retirement Analyzer. I wanted to make sure for those of you that may not be familiar with the Retirement Analyzer that there's a lot of good opportunity there. And for those of you that are looking for ways to work with your clients to kind of help them with the retirement roadmap. So it's a pretty comprehensive, as you can kind of tell from some of the graphics that you see there, very graphic in the way that it's set up, a nice comprehensive graphical way to show your clients where they're at on their retirement journey and show them where their shortfalls are, show them how they're matched up with their risk tolerance, things like that. Very complete. Now, the one complaint I do get from time to time is it takes a lot of information going in. So we've tried to make that as easy as possible. And if you have questions on that, I would have you go ahead and contact Marcus Soller here in our office. Marcus is pretty much an expert. He can walk you through everything that you need to know about that and maybe do one or two of them with you. I always recommend that people maybe take a minute if they want to, and after they spend some time with Marcus, maybe do one on themselves so they can kind of see how things play out, so they'll be ready to do them with their next client. So I recommend that you take advantage of that. We are taking care of the cost of that for folks that do business with us. And even if you're brand new with us and haven't done business with us yet, we'll give you free access for 30 days so you can kind of get a feel for it. And by then, I think you'll find that we'll have done some business together and we can go ongoing take care of the costs. So we want to make that easy for you. It's a great program, very compliant, very useful information for you, and a great way to build a long-lasting relationship with your clients. We have an academy coming up here very shortly. In fact, it's going on tomorrow. So keep in mind here over the next hour or probably 40 minutes now as we're chatting that the AIIMS Academy is a great way to build your sales idea kind of portfolio and kind of get your marketing of your business kind of back into shape a little bit and get it ready for 2019. We're having an academy tomorrow through Friday, so that will probably be the last one of the year. We always run into some weather constraints, but we're going to do one probably around February of next year. So when you see that poll pop up, if you have interest, want to learn more about our academies, just hit yes on that. Here, we're going to talk a little bit about AIIMS Wealth. If you haven't yet considered AIIMS Wealth or wealth management as a way to grow your business, I would urge you to do so. There's opportunity, obviously, there. There's some protection, some kind of playing defense about that I think you want to be aware of for sure as well. The DOL kind of went dormant, I would say, is the best way to put that, but I don't think it's gone away. I think that there's still going to be, as time goes on, a little bit more emphasis on being having a more well-rounded portfolio of products when you're talking to people about their retirement savings. And part of that is being able to offer securities products, and the wealth management, Series 65, becoming an investment advisor rep is a great way to begin to build that into your business. And I think you're going to find that the folks at AIIMS Wealth are really well suited to working with folks that come from kind of the insurance background. That's where we're from as a firm, and a lot of the folks that we do business with are from that background. So I think you'll find them very easy to work with from that standpoint. If that's something that you have interest in at all, maybe you just want to learn a little bit more about, maybe you think your fees are too high at your current RIA, or maybe your payout is too low at your current RIA, not happy with the services, even if you're just considering the possibility, I would say about 2/3 of the folks that we work with at AIIMS Wealth Management are new to that business. And I think that having a firm that understands a little bit about you, I think, is really important. We used to refer some of our guys to another firm, and they just kept coming back with, that they look like they do everything well, but I need someone to kind of help me understand, how that fits into the insurance business. We're pretty good at that here at AIIMS Wealth. We've been doing it now for 18 months and seen some nice growth, both, pretty much organic with helping our guys, grow their business. So if you have interest in that at all, put yes on that poll, and Charles or Mike will give you a call and walk you through what they do, how they do it, and see if there might be a fit, and see if you might want to come into one of our introductory meetings on that. So look forward to that. I'm going to close that poll out, and we'll continue to move right along here. I mentioned the Academy before. If that's something that you have interest in, again, now we're looking at 2019 at this point, dates and locations. If that's something that is of interest to you, what I'd like you to do is let us know, and you can indicate your interest by clicking on the poll that I'm going to put up here in a second, or just give me a call here at the office, or give any one of our sales directors a call. And what we'll do is we'll send you out a sample of the itinerary. It's a 3-day event. We take care of your expenses. You come in on a Wednesday, usually Wednesday through Friday is the timeline. Come in on Wednesday, we have dinner and go over some things that first night. We go all day Thursday and half a day Friday and get you back off to your destination, home destination, on Friday afternoon, early Friday afternoon. So you'll be home for the weekend, of course. But I think you'll find if you're looking at your screen, some of the things that we talk about, but really the key is those 4 top producers that come in and kind of school you up on what they do, how they do it, and see if that might be a fit for you. We also do a pretty good job in general, not only via the top producers, but our folks here going over some marketing and sales things that everyone should be doing to kind of grow their business, and the most successful folks are. So it's a great way to grow that business up, and we want to help you with that. So if you have interest, I'm going to go ahead and put a poll up. If you have interest, by all means, go ahead and give us a shout out with a yes there, and we'll get back with you as soon as we can. Okay, I'm going to leave that poll open for just a moment. Okay, with that, let's get moving on to the next. Thank you all for voting, by the way. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to close that poll out. We're going to keep moving right along here. So the Ritz-Carlton, that's the location for our next marketing summit, which will be in August, late August of 2019. Beautiful location right on the beach. We're going to have a chance to golf and see some great stuff, probably some airboat rides. It'll just be a great time for you and your guests to join us for a little celebration of your success. And we'll have a meeting, probably just one meeting, if we can get that pulled off. So we're looking forward to that a great deal. We've also...
Can you hear me?
I can. Welcome, Dave.
Okay, good. I want to make sure. Okay, good,
Yep.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. So we've also just announced, I sent out an email this morning, we're going to have another Athene production only trip, and you'll see that coming up. That will begin in October 1 and will run through March, and we have yet to announce the location for that. So we've got a couple of trips that you can qualify for. And of course, anything you do towards qualifying for a little Athene trip coming up will also count towards joining us at the Ritz. So a great deal for you, and I would love to have you, of course, join all of our top producers down at the Ritz. Okay, so here we are. Dave, I'm glad you made it aboard with us, and we're going to talk about building your Social Security, building your business through Social Security seminars. And Dave has been working on that for about 4 years now, and seen some great success, not only in his own business, but on helping a number of our producers. I would call it probably the most, and we do good, successful seminar business, but I think Social Security claiming probably overall has been our most successful seminar initiative in the last 15 to 18 years that we've been doing that. So great results that we have seen. Appreciate Dave joining us and being able to take some time here this morning on a beautiful day and walking us through kind of how to grow that business. So with that, Dave, I wonder if you could just give us a little history on what you've done in the seminar business overall, and let's go at it.
You bet, Dave. I appreciate it, Steve. And thanks for everybody for being on the webinar with us today. Got a lot of folks that are interested about Social Security claiming. My name is Dave Temper. I'm a rep just like you are. I do a little bit more from the security side, but I do a fair amount also on the fixed index side. And I like to get in front of people. And that's what I've done my entire life. In fact, from a seminar standpoint, I've got a seminar tonight, and then I've got a seminar next Wednesday, and that'll be my 480th and 81st, so I've done almost 500 public seminars since the mid-'80s, and that's only between 15 and 20 a year. We have about 8 to 10 campaigns a year where we'll mail out and get 2 seminars from each one, and I've done all different kind of seminars, but it seems like now, if they're specific, very specific in nature, which this is about Social Security claiming, it really goes in and it seems to be hitting home more. I mean, just like if we can get 40 people between 2 nights, we're very happy. We got 23 people coming tonight. And I think we've got, again, we're up to Wednesday, so we'll still get a few more. I think we're at 19 or 20 for Wednesday. So once you're over 40 people, that's 25, 26 buying units. The opportunity for you to do business is very, very good. Very good. And I think Social Security, because it's such an integral part of retirement planning, of an income plan, 94% of all Americans upon retirement have a Social Security benefit that they can use. It's really one of the pillars of income. So what I'm going to do is we third party. We didn't put together our own slides, though we did change it some to make it a little bit more user friendly. We use Horse's Mouth. If you've heard of them from New York, they've been around for about 15, 16 years. They're a marketing firm, and for $520 a year and getting it updated and getting material on it, and the PowerPoints and the language, and it gives you the analysis software to go on and use. We think that that's pretty hard to duplicate, that kind of professionalism. So those are their slides. I have changed them some, but you're going to actually see, it won't be all the slides. This is an hour presentation. So tonight I'll start at 6 o'clock. I'll be done within 5 minutes of 7 o'clock, 5 before or 5 after. And we pick up the evaluation forms that has the appointment setting right there. We put down the two weeks, so not this week, but next week and the week after. We put down dates and times. We get the commitment there. We call them back the next day and verify that. And that has been, our goal is to get at least 10 appointments from every seminar. So if you've got any questions on this, certainly give me a call. I don't know if Steve has flipped those over to me or not, that I'm able to jump the slides myself. Steve, are you there? I for some reason cannot go in and forward this.
Yep.
But
you should have the control now, Dave. Give it a shot and see if it does it for you.
I am going to give it a shot here. So for some reason I don't, but I don't know why, Steve.
That's all right. I'm going to go ahead and flip it for you here on this one and see if that activates it. There you go.
Well, you know what? I don't know.
There you go.
Got me? Good.
Somebody's moving it.
Control there. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go back here. So see if, can you kind of back this up for me, Steve? I think that once we go back. Okay, so let's talk about Social Security. Social Security is complicated. I'm going to say that right now. Social Security has about 2,650 rules are behind Social Security claiming. And I will tell you right now that when you're, and we'll go way back to the beginning here. With Social Security, when you're looking at Social Security, most of our prospects and clients, they're confused also. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. So what happens is that one of the things I think that is important is to know when you're talking about Social Security, it's the idea that, I don't know why this won't go backwards, Steve. Isn't that funny? Yeah, it's all going forward for me. That's okay. I don't know why it's not going back. Well, here it is. So one of the things we're talking about Social Security is that Social Security has a timeline of 62 to 70. Okay, so 62 is the earliest you can take, and 70 is the latest you can take. And there's a middle, there's a age or a date in the middle called the full retirement age. If you're born from 1943 to 1954, that full retirement age is 66. You take earlier than 66, your benefit is reduced. You take later than 66, it's increased. That's the basics of Social Security. Okay? So one of the things when people come to a workshop like this, and this is a non-dinner workshop, there's no meal. You might have Cokes, cookies, and coffee. I call it the 3 C's. So you don't have to have a meal because it's strong enough to bring people there on itself. But there's people there with specific questions. They want to know when's the best time for them to apply. What's the best age? If you're married, how do you coordinate with my spouse? They'll know how much it's reduced if they take early and how much it's increased if they take later. Survivor benefits, divorce benefits. And in 2015, there was something called the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015. So those new Social Security laws, how does that affect me? And it did. It phased out quickly in 6 months, file and suspend. But a more common, more used, and very similar spousal benefit called restricted application can still apply if you were born before January the 2nd of 1954. Okay? So when you see, like this comes from Kiplinger, I just happened, and this is probably several years old. I think it was done in 2015. But you just never saw much in print 15, 18 years ago. But you see a lot now because it's such an important benefit for the majority of retired people. So why Social Security maximization seminar marketing? Well, it's timely. Very few people understand. Only about 3% of the American public understand. And only about 20% of advisors, whether it be insurance or brokerage or RIA, really understand. Or my CPA is one of the smarter guys you'll find, knows nothing about Social Security. My estate planning lawyer, he calls me about Social Security. They just, it's a very narrow subject, and it's pretty cool to be the expert in your area. No meals, which that doesn't bother me to have meals, but a lot of people don't want to pay for meals. People there are just really to eat. Those are more educational nature. So we're going to have them in libraries. We're going to have them at colleges or museums or somewhere besides a hotel or something like that. I always say the prospects need us more than we need them. That may not be true. They'll kind of hunt you down to get that free report. Pretty high conversion ratio. And people have done Social Security workshops before, but transitioning from Social Security to the actual closing of business, uncovering and closing the business, there is really kind of an art to doing that. We think we've got a good system that works that business pretty well. So basically, people are asking, will Social Security be there for me? Now, something that might be surprising to you is if you look right now, in 2017 was the last time the trustees reports came on out. Do you think we ran a deficit or a surplus in Social Security money coming in last year? Surplus or a deficit? Most people think there's a deficit because that's what the politicians say to concern you. That's what they say to go on in and to scare you. But in reality, there was a $44,000 benefit, $44,000 benefit. $44 billion increase from in Social Security last year. More money brought in by payroll taxes and interest from the bonds than there was of money paying out of the benefit. Most people don't understand that. There's just under 2.9 trillion. That's with a T, like a ton of money in the trust fund. Will not go bankrupt or run out anticipated to the year of 2034. This is 2018. That's 16 years. 16 years. If the trust fund runs out and goes bankrupt, you'd think you'd have no money now for Social Security, but that's not true because everyone who's working is still putting into payroll taxes. And you'd get somewhere between 75 and 79% of your benefit would continue to come in. And that's when people talk about the bankruptcy and scaring people. I'll tell you right now, it's healthy. Will there need to be some changes, especially if in the future? Yes, there will, to make it solvent down the road. But it's here, and everybody remembers when we were kids. I'm 63 years old. Unless you're younger here, maybe that's the case. But we always heard, hey, you better be saving money, investing money now, because Social Security will never be there when we retire. Well, guess what? Still here and going pretty darn strong. So full retirement age, or normal retirement age. Remember I said from 43 to 54, full retirement age is 66. Then it starts increasing each year to 1960. If you're born in 1960 or later, then it's 67 years of age is your full retirement age. There's only between 66 and 67. And this is one of the easiest ways to firm up the Social Security benefit is really to increase this age. Remember 1935 when Franklin Delano Roosevelt brought out Social Security and the Social Security Act? Yeah, the average person in the U.S., they passed at 63. 63 years of age. You couldn't start taking until 65. I love those odds. Now the average person probably lives close to 80. My mom's 95. Going strong. House on her own, boyfriend for 8 years, going to Cancun here in a couple, 3 weeks. Yeah, that just didn't happen years and years ago. People feel better, more healthy, living longer. So we think that will increase that full retirement age. Will probably go from 66 maybe to 70 because people are living longer for the benefit. If there's any questions whatsoever, certainly just type them on up and I'll answer those for you. So here's kind of the basics of Social Security. Your primary insurance amount, or PIA, what that is, that's your amount at full retirement age. And let's just, at 67, it is a little different than 66, but see, if you take it 66 and your full retirement age is 66, you get 100% of your benefit. But what happens if you go in and take it 62? You're only going to get 75% of your benefit. Well, that 25% discount, what happens is actuarially, they're figuring that you're probably going to live to, I'm just making this up, it's probably close, say you're going to live to the age of 79. 79 is your break even. If you live longer than 79, then you're in the government's pocket. If you die before 79, and you know what, then what happens is you probably don't. But if you wait and you delay your benefit, the benefit does go up. So this is called an actuarial reduction if you take early. So what happens if you wait longer? Well, now it's called a delayed retirement credit. A delayed credit. It's guaranteed to be 8%. Now, COLA is on top of everything. So delayed retirement credit from 66 to 67, 8%. If your benefit's $1,000, it's going up $80. It's $2,000, it's going up $160. It's $160 on a $2,000 benefit per year. I mean, per month, but every single year you're getting that. I mean, if you live 35 years, it's an increased benefit forever. It's a pretty big deal. And that's why most people don't delay their benefit past full retirement age. What I'm saying to you is if you've got other investments, other savings that you could draw from, it might be worthwhile to let you, if you have a good longevity in your family, you think you're going to live. I talked to a guy yesterday. Dad's still living, he's 97. Mom's passed away at 92, and he had a grandpa that lived 105. Well, we didn't even ask if he should delay his benefit because he's going to. Yeah. So it'll be a bigger benefit. He'll get it for a long time, hopefully. Now, spousal benefits, there are some innuendos and there's some specifics on this, but basically here's what happens is the spousal benefit, the lower earning spouse, it's gender neutral, of course. In this scenario, John's at $2,000 at 66 and Jane's at $800 at 66. Say they both take. John gets $2,000, Jane gets $800, or she could take half of her husband's benefits, whichever is higher. $1,000 is higher than $800 by 200. She gets a top up of $200. John has to take his benefit in order for Jane to go in and get that half of his. If John doesn't take his and delays his, Jane's going to get $800. John's going to delay his and get a higher amount down the road. That's basically how the spousal benefit works. Now, divorce spouse benefits is one of the lesser used benefits. So many divorced spouses do not use this benefit because they don't know the ins and outs. And that's why so many people come to workshops like this. But here's what happens. I call it the triple play. If your marriage lasted 10 years or longer, if you're currently unmarried, the one filing for the benefit, not the ex can be remarried, but if you're filing for a divorce benefit, you have to be unmarried, and your ex has to be at least the age of 62. If that lines up like stars line up in the night and it's for you in your favor, then you can use your spouse just ex-spouse just as if you're still married to them as far as Social Security is concerned. And there certainly are benefits for married couples. Now, what happens if all those line up, but your current spouse is deceased? Well, I'll tell you, now you have not just divorce spouse benefits, but you've got survivor divorce spouse benefits, and it's even more liberal in its interpretation of the benefits that you can receive. So if you're divorced, married for at least 10 years or longer, currently unmarried, and your ex is at least 62, boy, find your clients and prospects need to find out what kind of benefit will I have, and it's going to be a much more competitive benefit than just taking a single benefit alone. And so when you're out there, this is things that people just don't know about. And it's sad, but a lot of people are divorced these days. And so it really hits home to a lot of people. Survivor benefits, person passes, it's pretty simple. I mean, the basic benefit is if somebody passes, is that you say Joe's at full retirement age and his is $2,000 and Julie's is $1,200. If Joe passes, Julie can either continue to take her $1,200 and lose her husband's benefit that is deceased, or she can let hers go and jump up to Joe's benefit. The interesting thing about this is that's a no-brainer. You think everybody would do it, but there are people that don't know they can do this. And if you don't request it, you lose the benefit. And I had that happen to me. I had a lady 5-6 years ago. Steve said we do this for 3-4 years. I think we've been doing this, Steve, for 6 or 7 years now. I'm actually out with all the AIIMS reps from seminars. But what happens is her husband, she had about a $1,400 benefit. Her husband had $1,800. He passed away 4 years ago. She never took the benefit. So she was out like $35,000. She was out of money. We actually got her a retro benefit of six months, which was about $2,400, but all the rest of that $35,000 she lost. And she was sick. I told her don't kill the messenger. I mean, but she had no idea she could jump up to her husband's benefit. Isn't that something? So this is such great education, for the average person out there. And I tell you what, it doesn't make a difference if you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer. Most people really don't understand this. So the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, when you talk about spousal benefits, this was big. This is the last big law changes, okay, when it comes to Social Security benefits. But something called file and suspend was phased out. Restricted application, as long as you were born before January the 1st of 1954, or on or before January 1st of 1954. So what happens here is that you basically have to be 64 by the beginning of this year, and you're able to restrict your application if it helps you. What is restricted application? What does that mean? So this gets a little complicated, but kind of stay with me on this. So file and suspend has been out, so it's gone. So we'll just bypass that. So restricted application is similar. So what it is you're letting your benefit grow, but how you trigger and start it, you're able to go in here and take half of your spouse's benefit. So let's say Mike and Mary are both 66, and what happens is, excuse me, the primary person taking the restricted application benefit, that person has to be full retirement age, has to be at least 66 years or older when they start it. Not now, it can be as young as 64, but when you start it, you have to be at least 66. Can't do it beforehand. Mike's primary insurance amount, that's the amount at full retirement age, 66 is $2,000. Mary's his wife is $800. Mary has to file for hers in case she wants money coming in the family to set this benefit up for restricted application. She takes hers, and then at 66 or over, Mike goes in and starts his benefit and automatically stops it. And he tells the Social Security Administration that he wants to restrict his application only to his wife's benefit. So you can take one spousal benefit at a time. You can't take two. That one benefit is, she starts her $800, Mike starts his, but then restricts it. He never actually takes a physical benefit, but in the eyes of Social Security it started. Well, what happens? Now he can take half of Mary's $800 as a spousal benefit, while his grows the 8% a year. Half of 800 is 400. Now you got $1,200 coming into the household, 800 for Mary's primary insurance amount, 400 for the spousal benefit, and then it grows and grows and grows. Then when Mike gets 70, now he could turn it on at 69, 68, but let's say he waits to 70, and say that 2,000, I'm making this up, let's say hypothetically with inflation it grows to 3,000. He turns on his for 3,000, and now Mary, her $800 benefit, Mike loses the 400 originally from half of Mary's, but now Mary at full retirement, she can't take half of his at 70, but half of Mike's at 66. Half of 2,000 is 1,000. She jumps up from 800 to 1,000 once he turns his on at 70, because now she'll take the spousal benefit. Now there's a lot of moving parts in there, and if you think you're confused, you should see tonight when I go in front of those 20 or 25 folks and I give the workshop and I try to simplify it, but they're like, boy, we don't really know what's going on there. We better talk to Dave Pimper. We better talk to the host or the presenter and find out if we're doing the right thing and maximizing our money for Social Security. Yeah, it's an extremely good subject. It's because most people really don't have a very good feel. Now, this is fairly wild, but the Social Security, the personnel at the Social Security office, they can give you the highest benefits you're entitled to right now. You know what they can't do? They can't tell you to go in and file and suspend, which is not there any longer, or restrict your application, which is there for the right age. They can't help you with innovative strategies to maximize your benefits. They cannot even offer advice. Is that wild? The Social Security Administration, they don't want that liability. They can't offer advice. This actually comes right from the training manual that they have. Number D, it says, for the employees of Social Security, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. And that's great for us because of course, we can give advice. We want to give advice. Yesterday, I had two teachers. One was retired, one is 65. Wanted to know. I mean, they want to move to visit not visit, but to live by their kids out in Colorado. If he should work a year, when he should take Social Security, if they should sell their house right now. I mean, this is the big decisions that we help people with. And Social Security was the main reason he came in. And of course, he's got $1.1 million worth of money. I'm not going to work with all of that, but he's certainly open for me to work with a portion of that money. Yeah. So Social Security is just such a great intro of talking about people's finances. Okay. Now, from a income standpoint, income planning, I kind of look at income as five legs of a stool for income planning. There's work, there's pensions if you're lucky enough to have one. There's income producing assets, and some of those may be traditional IRAs, 401ks that you're forced to take an RMD at 70.5, and then Social Security. Social Security, is very common, but it's the most flexible of income streams. You can decide when to start it. It doesn't like when you quit working, you quit making, but not with Social Security. You can go in and plan of when you want to take Social Security, and it really is how it integrates with your other four income streams. So when I start working through, let's talk about your work, let's talk about your pensions, and then I say, let's talk about your required minimum distributions. Well, what kind of assets do you have that can generate that? And we're starting to uncover all those assets now. So yesterday we're uncovering dormant 401ks, IRAs that really haven't been in contact with the agent. There was just so much information, and of course we've got a second appointment to fact find for specific monies so I can propose to them. That's what knowing Social Security can do for you claiming. So we use horse's mouth. Elaine Floyd is the original 7, 8 years ago. She put this together, and then she started working with Horse's Mouth and is employed by them now. And she's a guru. It's a very, very good system. You have the analysis of the calculator as part of when you purchase this. The power presentations are there. I kind of refinagled those a little bit to make them a little more user-friendly. About 300 pages of literature. In Social Security, you know, one of the great things is we want to get in front of people. We want to help them. We want to write business and then help them with that written business. But another factor to consider is when you go through training with myself, coaching, it's 5 coaching sessions, and I get paid by coaching. I don't get paid by overrides. I don't get paid by in a hierarchy of yours. No, I get paid by coaching. I get paid $150 per session. For 5 sessions, it's $750. AIIMS, who Steve Murray is one of the co-owners who started the presentation, they pay for you to me for 2/3 of the coaching or 3/4 of the coaching. They pay $555. You pay $195. What's a great thing about this is, and you get lots of 25 or 30 kind of supplements to the emails of our different articles and what we mail out, the letters we use, the evaluation form. You get everything from us, so it's kind of an A through Z system. But the nice thing is you learn Social Security. And in today's day and age, if you don't know Social Security, shame on you. I mean, you should know it. And shame on me that I didn't know it until about 7 years ago. In fact, Steve Murray, who we're talking about with AIIMS, the FMO, he came to me about 10 years ago and he said, "What do you know about Social Security?" I said, "Nothing. Nothing." He said, "Well, you know what? You really should, because that's the hot topic right now. Everybody is starting to do seminars. Maybe it was 8 years ago, 9 years ago. But I looked at it and it was so complicated. But I didn't have anybody to walk me through, help me through with that. And we've got lots of people doing Social Security. We just had one, and I think down in Texas, Steve, yeah. And I mean, they had a tremendous turnout.
You bet.
I think their first night they had 35 or 38 people, which is above the average. I mean, we've got 23 or 4 tonight. But I'll tell you what, it's hard to get in front of that many and get in 10, 12, 13, 14 appointments and not find that, not to be able to help them from a financial service strategy. There normally is. So what happens is that free analysis, yeah, I mean, you know, that just kind of draws that person in for the appointment to get that customized free analysis, which of course our system does. Now it says present over 400 public seminars. It'll be 480 as of tonight. So almost 500. I try to take a complicated subject, make it easier. A lot of attachments. It's a turnkey system, no meals. And then anytime you coach with me, you can always call me for anything to do with Social Security or any other kind of financial advice that you need help on. Now, I say this sometimes in the workshops. This is procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Never comes, does it? Tomorrow never comes. If you heard something today that you think is interesting, if you really don't understand Social Security in and out, yeah, it's like a 2-for-1. We just don't coach just Social Security, but we coach it with getting in front of people for marketing the seminar. And I'll tell you what, if you've done seminars before and you haven't been successful, maybe you didn't have someone there that was helping you, you know, kind of walk through it piece by piece. So if you got any final questions, shoot them up. I'm going to shoot it on over to Steve, and we actually do an evaluation form that is right there. They fill out the time, the date. We pick them up at the end, and we're just calling people saying, hey, you know, you signed up, and we wanted to make sure that date worked for us. I see it works for you. Great. So we will see you then. And then we have a letter we mail out. You get the entire kind of the blueprint of how to do Social Security seminars and learning the information. So if you think that that's of an interest, I'd love for you, Steve, would you like to put up the poll here, and we can kind of get and on this is low key. I'll tell you right now, I can coach between 6 and 8 people a quarter, every 3 months, and there's 5 coaching sessions. And so if you mark yes, Lynn, one of our administrators in our office, will give you a call, Lynn Feldhauser, and she'll line up a good time for you and me for 25, 30 minutes. You're going to talk to myself, and we'll just kind of see what you're doing, if this could be of interest to you. It can fit into your marketing, kind of what you're doing. If you're in a rut right now, I'll tell you what, having a marketing system is pretty special. And I know I'm going to get tonight, I'm going to be very, very disappointed if I don't get 5, 6, 7 appointments tonight. And then I've got another workshop from the same mailing next Wednesday. I want to get 5, 6, 7 from that. But that's an injected 10, 12, 13 appointments. And I'll tell you what, once you do that month after month after month, I mean, your production most likely is going to rise. It just will. So, Steve, is there any questions that people have or want me to kind of go in and talk about?
Yeah, I think you probably touched a little bit on the general cost, but there are a couple of questions about the costs and how that plays into, kind of a return on investment. Can you give us an idea of how that works for you?
Yeah. So we mail out 6,000 pieces, and the cost is 55 cents. It's for this is a big, like a school piece. It's 8.5 by 17. So it's a big piece. Or you know what? I think it's even. I think it is. It's 11 by 17. 11 wide, 17 long, triple fold, card stock, full color. But it looks like it just came from a Metro Tech or a college. They talk where the instructor, the class time is, and we've had several since we started 6, 7 years ago. But this has been very successful. It's not real fancy. It talks a little bit about the instructor. But we mail out 6,000 pieces. So you've got $3,300, 6,000 pieces at 55. That's your cost. That's your big cost. The coaching is minimal. It costs you $195. That's for 5 45-minute sessions, 5 weeks in a row. So $3,300. And so what happens is lots of times people will ask me, we're hoping to get 40 people between 2 nights. That's 26, 27 buying units. The goal is to close half of those for appointments. That's 12, 13 people. I want at least 10. And of that, here's what I say. I say half of the people, 40% to half, just don't have an interest and don't go past the first appointment. And of the other 5 or 6 or 7 that's left, our goal is to close half of those. There's some kind of business there to do with those people that can help them financially. And of course, then we're compensated for that. So, Steve, I don't know how far you want me to go, but lots of times people, a question is, how much do you normally bring in? Well, normal is kind of subjective, but I hope to bring in $250,000, $300,000. If I can do that off of a workshop, then I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. And sometimes it comes in insurance products, a fixed index. Sometimes I do more security business that could come there, but I don't show life insurance. I don't show med sup. I don't show disability. I don't show some of the things that a lot of people have that are extras that, of course, help pay for that mailing. But that's the goal. And have I workshops where I've done over $1 million? Yes, I have. Have I had workshops where I have not done any business? Doesn't happen very often, but it has. It has. But I'll tell you what, if you do 3, 4 workshops and you're talking with appointments of 15 or 20 people, your chance of doing business is extremely good. Most people have more trouble of getting in front of people than once they're in front of people of being a good salesperson, and being a professional salesperson, showing them a good financial strategy. Most people are better at that than getting in front of people. This is a lead generation source. Once you're in front of them, and I can certainly help you some with the sales process, but hopefully you're a pretty good salesperson and know how to close, once you find that asset.
Thank you, Dave. So what you quoted there is probably a minimum about 5 times return on investment over time. And I think probably the keys to seminar success, whether you're doing Social Security seminars or any other type of seminars, is there is a consistency factor that definitely comes into play that I think a lot of folks that try seminars miss out on because they never allow that momentum to get going like it should. And then, of course, I think coaching is, of all the things, I think that's probably the most important, because we have seen, over the past 15, 18 years where we've been doing seminars and offering seminars here out of AIIMS is that there are so many little different mistakes that get made along the way that can impact those numbers. A little impact on the front side can make a big impact on the back side. You just never know who you won't have had that appointment with or who you won't have had come into the seminar if you missed out on doing something just right. And there have been some really silly mistakes that have made major impacts, and there have been some mistakes that just over time guys kind of get a little, they change the tenor of what they're trying to accomplish at Social Security seminar to try and make things, and all of a sudden they notice that their conversion is not going. So you need that, not just the initial coaching, but that ongoing coaching that can keep you sharp and keep you pointed in just the right direction. What I do hear from a lot of guys that when they first get into Social Security claiming seminar business is that they have a hard time converting from appointment to sale, making that kind of transition into talking about Social Security and then moving on to talking about retirement assets. I think Dave would probably say that he had that exact same issue himself very initially, and he has come up with the right answers for that have helped so many of our people and so many folks that had done Social Security seminars on their own that were having trouble making them pay. Dave was able to help them with some really straightforward, simple transition information that has helped. Also talked to a lot of guys that have trouble closing for appointments. So Dave probably gets 50 to 60% appointments, and there were some guys that were getting more like 15, 20, 25% appointments, and Dave was able to help them with that. Again, there's some pieces to the puzzle, and they all have to fit together just right. As Dave would say, he just wants to make sure we stay between the lines. You don't have to do everything exactly the same, but just stay between the lines, and we can have success. And if you do that, you do it consistently, you're going to experience the same type of return on investment that we're seeing from our guys. And I want to say in general, Dave, that we probably see more like a 8 to 9 times return on investment, and I think guys can have a good expectation of that over time with the Social Security seminar. So if you have interest and want to learn more about it, the poll is up there for you, and I see that almost all of you have responded, and my guess is there's probably a few of you out there that are just listening as opposed to watching on screen and so can't respond. I would say that if you want to have a few minutes with Dave, so if somebody hits yes, they get about 25 minutes on the phone with you to kind of talk about Social Security claiming seminars and see if it's a good fit, talk a little bit about our AIIMS scholarship is what we call that, our donation to the cause of taking care of that coaching expense. If you want to get that set up and you weren't able to hit yes, just give me a call here at the office at 800-255-5055, and we will get you set up with a phone call with Dave. Dave's got a great staff, some people that support not only him, but the folks that he works with, coaches with, to make sure that the mailings go right, the telephone answering systems get set up right, all the little things that you need to do to be successful and to take some of that first time stuff out of your hands so that you don't have to relearn and reinvent the wheel, and the processes are already in place for you, and Dave and his team do that. So it's a way to save time, save money, make more money, and kind of add some consistency to your business that maybe you didn't have before. And with 2018 drawn to a close with a little bit of rocket and sinking ship market going on, I think there's some opportunity there for you that is not towards the end of this year and going into 19 that has not necessarily been there for the last few. Interest rates on the rise, obviously more baby boomers, more people coming in to where they need to start looking at Social Security. The table is set for a great end of this year and start to 2019 if you're just willing to sit down at the table. So as always, we here at AIIMS, that's kind of our goal, is to put the ideas in front of you. As Dave said, he's got room for a little bit of coaching. If it works for you, that would be great, and we would love to have you take advantage of that service here from AIIMS, and we'd love to be the group responsible for helping you kind of grow your business and get to the levels that you want it to be. So now I see that almost everyone has voted, so I think we're going to go ahead and close that poll out. The couple of you that have not, by all means, if you want to chat, just give me a call here at the office. I'd love to talk with you. Dave, I would just want to see if there are, so what venues do you recommend for your Social Security claiming seminars?
I like libraries. Like tonight, we're doing it at a West Omaha library. It's an area of Omaha called Millard. Of course, Steve, you know it. People
Sure.
outside of Omaha, but it's I would say Millard. The Millard district is a strong middle income district, middle income to upper middle income, I would think. And that's really what you're looking at here. And of course, you got demographics in your mailings. I mean, we want a certain investable assets that are available. Sometimes we'll do net worth or income, but investable assets are big for us. And when you do it at the library, people go to the library to read, to study. And so it's looked upon as an educational event. We also do some with colleges, a Metro Tech. It's an educational setting. It's different than when you're going to a restaurant, which those are dinner seminars, and we still do them, and we still have success there outside of Social Security. I do with retirement planning on a 401k IRA rollover workshop, but that workshop is not strong enough on itself to get people there. People at the library, they're not quite as intimidated, because everybody goes into the library, and we're really in an educational setting. It's very low key, and so those are the two venues that we like the most.
Perfect. You had mentioned the size of the Social Security fund earlier on, and someone missed that. Do you remember what that number was?
Yeah, it's just shy of $2.9 trillion is in the Social Security Trust Fund. And one of the things that normally come up, that has been borrowed by the government, and then there's IOUs in there. So the majority of it has been borrowed by the government, and then they have IOUs with interest to pay back. So people say, hey, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a scam. It's going to fall down. Well, think about what backs the dollar in your pocket. And I say this in the workshop. What backs that dollar bill or that $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 bill? The full faith and credit of the government. Gold doesn't back it. There used to be silver certificates, but silver doesn't back it. There's no hard asset back it. It's the full faith and credit. Same thing that backs Social Security. So, I tell people when the government goes under and your dollar's not worth anything, that's when Social Security will be worth nothing also. It's the same backing.
Good, Dave. I know we're just a little past time and you've got to go, but I did have somebody ask about the transition. We'd mentioned a little bit and talk about the transition language. So I know you talk about, I put the slide back up in context of the 5 pillars. I know at one time we had a slide that showed a lot of the pieces you've got. How many Word documents and things do you have that go to people that do Social Security claiming seminars? You've got a pretty good storage, I know.
Yeah, somewhere between 25 and 30. We have different documents. Probably half of those are articles. So if we talk about restricted application, you're probably going to get a couple articles that I think are very good, maybe taken from Forbes or Kiplinger or Wall Street Journal or Bloomberg, somewhere that really, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach, and then I'm trying to have you read. And there's a couple books that are very good besides the horse's mouth information. So our intention is to really get you going and get you, educated up on Social Security, because I'm here and I'm always open for calls. You can always give me a call. If I'm in an appointment or I'm in a webinar like I am now, or I'm doing some training here at the AIIMS Academy, but I get my messages, I call people back, and it's nice to have somebody on staff, like on your staff, that you're not paying. I mean, AIIMS is the one that makes us available, but I certainly can help you with any of your Social Security or any of your financial questions that you've got around financial strategies. Yeah.
Perfect. As always, Dave, I want to thank you. Appreciate everyone kind of hanging on through the technical difficulties we had at the start. Very much appreciated. Dave, thank you as well for your time. Thank you all for your time here at AIIMS. That's, as I mentioned earlier, that's kind of our goals. We want to put good things in front of you, things that can help you grow your business. And we know that when you're successful, then we're successful. So any way that we can help you, whether Social Security claiming seminars or other types of seminars or other marketing approaches, we're always on hand and available to help. As I mentioned earlier, great time to be in our business right now. Safety and guarantees are going to become more and more paramount, and we've got rates that are increasing and more products coming into the marketplace right now than we've ever had before. So it's a great time to be in this business. The team at AIIMS is ready and willing to help at every stage. Dave, is there anything you want to say as we finish up?
So thank you very much for taking a little bit of time out of your day. I hope I talked to a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you here in the future.
All right. Thank you again, everybody, and we look forward to talking to you. Have a great finish to your business week.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.